One thing that took me a long time to understand myself is that you need a clear understanding of whatever your specific situation is. And again, if somebody wrote on Twitter or LinkedIn, like, you must understand the customer problem before you jump to solutions of the customer problem. Everybody will be like, plus one. We all like, yeah, of course you need to understand the customer problem before you jump to a solution. But in practice, most product failure, particularly in B2B, is not that they built the wrong product or the common claim that we couldn't get distribution or the friction for adoption was high. It's none of that. It's you didn't understand the customer problem. Let's be honest. You did not understand the customer problem. You were solving for the wrong problem, the problem that wasn't acute enough or just important enough or couldn't get funded. It's not that your solution was terrible or your marketing was terrible or anything else was terrible. You were destined to fail the day you decided to solve this problem in this manner. It was set on in the early days, not in year two, year three, right? So that's a product example that every product manager, every designer, everyone will agree, and we'll all be united in that. And yet, we don't do that for actual day to day problems we are facing with our team, with our communication, with our influence problems, with our whatever negotiations that we have to do, with the actual work we are doing, with the goal setting we are doing. It is largely absent this degree of thoughtfulness and intent around what am I even really trying to do here? So, what happens is it is an incorrect problem diagnosis followed by defaulting to past patterns that seem to have worked in some ways for us. So, what I just said describes a large swath of leadership across nearly every company, certainly nearly every tech company that I'm more familiar with in the world. And I'm sure when they listen to this, some people will have an objection, and I'll tell you what the objection is. Well, but you can't keep analyzing analysis paralysis. You can't keep thinking about the problem. Someday you have to act, and action is where it's at, and mistakes is how we learn. It's all nonsense, right? Because again, people are not thinking at a practical level. So when somebody has that objection, I ask them, so wait, are you saying that we should not sit to analyze the problem for a 6 month period and just get stuck in that analysis paralysis? And they say yes. And I say, yes, I agree to that. Yes, I also agree. You should not be sitting just at your desk looking at the ceiling and trying to solve this problem, not even solve, try to analyze the problem. But what I'm making is at a practical level, what is happening with leaders and teams is they're not pausing for 2 minutes. They are not pausing for 20 minutes. They're not pausing for 2 hours. They're not pausing for 2 days, where that accurate diagnosis of the problem you're trying to solve, whatever this leadership, organizational, structural, incentive, process problem you have, you're not pausing for a duration of 2 minutes, 20 minutes, 2 hours, 2 days, and sometimes 2 weeks. Now, I will tell you that no matter how fast paced you are, you definitely have 2 minutes, you definitely have 20 minutes, and you definitely have 2 hours. And then we can debate 2 days. I would say in most cases, in order to save those 2 days, you're wasting months afterwards because you did not diagnose the problem properly. And in order to save the 2 weeks, you're now wasting 2 years, right? So that is also happening in practice. It is not that, oh, we like to move fast and like, it is not that. It is an excuse you are making. Why? Because it feels uncomfortable to think. See, we as human beings, we've evolved to try to conserve the compute. Now we can use these terms these days because everybody's familiar with them. We evolved to conserve our compute, and we've kind of evolved through a calorie poor kind of environment. But well, in most parts of the world, and especially anybody listening to this, you don't need to really conserve calories on thinking. In fact, anybody listening to this needs to expend more calories on actually understanding what is it that I'm even trying to do. So I know this sounds like, okay, come on, Shreyas, give me something advanced. But I will tell you that what I've found in practice over and over again is as we pause for the 2 minute, 20 minutes, 2 hours, 2 days, and for the right things, use your judgment. For some things, 2 minutes is enough. For other things, 2 days is required. Cool. Use your judgment. That is why you get paid the big bucks to use this judgment. You're not a robot that, oh, somebody has to tell you everything. Because if that's the case, then what's your value? Why should you get paid the big bucks? So use your judgment. But as you pause to do that, and as you get to accurately diagnose the problem, now you are suddenly extremely successful. You are always successful in whatever solution you come up with. I used to read this in kind of philosophy books in my 20s. I used to laugh and I'd be like, this is stupid. But it's not that the book was stupid, I was stupid. So now I understand that when they say things like the answer is in the question, the solution is in the problem. Only in my mid 40s do I understand that no, actually, there's truth to it. And why do I understand it? Because now I've lived it for 10 plus years. It's like that personal experience. And so this is another thing. Like half the people listening to this right now will be like, "Ah, I don't believe it. This doesn't work." In fact, some people will think this is theory, but this is like the opposite of theory. This is the real practice. This is the real practice of leadership, right? Which is, why are you getting paid the big bucks? Why do you have such huge responsibilities? It's so that you can exercise exceptional world class judgment. And to exercise exceptional world class judgment, it starts with an accurate diagnosis of the problem.